And on that note, we want to send it over to One America's Ash Kargaran and Greta Wall, who are in Cleveland. Ash, Greta, can you hear me?
Barely, Liz, barely. It's pretty loud here.
Yeah, it sounds incredible. The crowd was so engaged listening to Governor Mike Pence. But let me ask you about this. I think the talk of the night was Senator Ted Cruz's speech. The fact that he did not officially endorse Donald Trump. He just talked about voters going out, voting in November, voting your conscience, but no mention of actually voting for Donald Trump.
Yeah, Liz, tonight and I think until the general election, Ted Cruz's speech here at the convention is going to be the biggest news. The biggest news. There are so many details in that speech and what led up to it, what's going to happen after it. He really, the things he said, whether voting for your conscience or, the New York delegates are, loud and supportive. There were so many barbs thrown from Ted Cruz, and it's either going to backfire really hard against him or help him, come 2020. But you're right. His speech is definitely going to be the talk of Cleveland and the rest of the nation come tomorrow morning.
Yeah, I was on the floor when that all happened down there, and it was crazy. Ted Cruz said, vote for your conscience, and got extreme boos from the crowd. He came out to a standing ovation and left to boos from the crowd. Donald Trump came out unannounced, mad at Ted Cruz, took the show from him, wanted to get the attention off of Ted Cruz in his speech. He had a 9-minute speech approved by the RNC here and came out and spoke for 23 minutes here. That wasn't approved. He went off script completely and went to his own message and his own, toward the Never Trump movement tonight here at Cleveland. This whole convention is supposed to be about party unity, and Ted Cruz completely abandoned that tonight with his speech.
The most interesting question is going to be, what did the Cruz team tell the Trump team? What was the communication like? Because if they gave a promise that they would endorse, and then he came here and kind of, stabbed them in the back, so to speak, or, right in the front, it goes back to, Trump accusing his father of being involved in the JFK assassination, talking bad about his wife Heidi, who, by the way, had to get escorted out of the convention floor by security because the crowd was so raucous, and they started booing, and they started, throwing barbs at her, throwing barbs at Ted Cruz, and there's so much to be, unraveled in this whole situation as to what was said, what was promised, and what's going to be the aftermath of this situation.
Yeah, the Trump camp says, we've been told for days that Ted Cruz would officially endorse Donald Trump tonight, and then the Ted Cruz camp says, no, we told him 2 days ago that no, he wasn't going to endorse him tonight. So it's a battle of who is telling the truth here at RNC.
And it threw off Donald Trump, too, because as you guys saw, he came out in the middle of Ted Cruz's speech and just started standing in the little family box area, kind of telling him to, wrap it up, get out of here.
Get off
right,
stage.
and
he wasn't
absolutely unbelievable, I think.
He was supposed to introduce Mike Pence.
Right, absolutely unbelievable. I think that Heidi Cruz actually had to be escorted out of the convention center because the crowd was so enraged at Ted Cruz about that. But let me ask you about this, that speech that we just heard by Governor Mike Pence. I have not seen the crowd that excited since the beginning of the convention. Tell me what you saw.
That speech by Mike Pence solidified the fact that Donald Trump chose the right vice presidential candidate. Yeah. You heard Newt Gingrich speak right before him, who people said that he should have chosen because they had good chemistry and things like that. But the crowd was not as into Newt Gingrich as they were to Mike Pence. Mike Pence delivered the best possible speech he could as a VP, considering what Ted Cruz did right before him. Everyone thought, okay, well, Ted Cruz just did that. He stole the spotlight from Pence. Pence is kind of, in the gutter now because of what happened, but he came out strong, he came out confident, and he hit every single point he had to tonight. He did the best possible, he gave the best possible speech he could, given what Ted Cruz did before.
The policy differences between Donald Trump and Mike Pence have been pointed out since he made that decision, but really tonight Mike Pence solidified that he is on Donald Trump's team, and he is working to get Donald Trump elected, that he's with those talking points. He had every single campaign trail talking point that Donald Trump had, and solidified that he was the right choice for the Trump campaign.
Right, absolutely, and he brought his own likability, his own story to that. Greta Wall, Ash Kargaran, thank you so much.